Alright, so I've had a request to do a step-by-step video on how to breed ball pythons. When you're just first starting out breeding ball pythons, you should do as much research as possible. Don't just use one source. Get as much information as you can before you start breeding. You want to make sure that you have proper husbandry for all your animals, and that you'll be able to provide care for any animals that you may hatch. I would recommend getting a good book like this one by Dave and Tracy Barker. Probably the best book on ball pythons that's ever been written. It's a really good book. It's full of information. Get a good book, check online, read as much stuff as possible. Then you can start breeding. Alright, so starting about October, I will begin introducing males to the females' cages. You can see here we have a fire male and with a pewter female. I keep my ambient room temperature about 78 degrees year-round. It'll drop a little bit in the winter, just naturally, but I don't try to purposely drop temperatures or anything. I don't think it's really necessary for breeding, but you want to make sure that there's a good thermal gradient in the cage, because the females, when they're developing follicles, which the follicles will eventually turn into eggs, hopefully, but when they're developing the follicles, a lot of times they'll sit on the cool end of the cage, or they'll like to wrap around their water dishes. It just helps with the development. So you want to make sure they can get to a cooler side, around 78 degrees or so. And then I like to keep my hot spots about 86, 88 degrees. A little cooler than most, but I think they really do better on that. I've never had any respiratory infections, anything like that. They eat great, they grow great. I don't think they really need much hotter than that, so you're going to want to introduce the males to females. I leave them together until they finish breeding, or after about 3 days, maybe 4 days or so, and then I give the males and females a couple days apart, give them time to eat, get water and whatever, just kind of rest. A lot of times they'll go off feed during different times of breeding, so that's normal. Alright, so you're just going to want to keep breeding them until eventually your female will ovulate, and it basically looks, when the female ovulates, it basically looks like they've eaten a small football or a big rat or something, although at that time they normally haven't eaten for about a month or so. This female is done ovulating. After they ovulate, they will shed their skin, and at that time the eggs, or the follicles, have been fertilized, and they are now eggs basically. And then, so this female has ovulated and shed. Now is about 30 days from the time she sheds to the time she'll lay her eggs. And so hopefully you'll get some good eggs about 30 days after they ovulate and shed. So this female is gravid. Just waiting, takes time, and hopefully she'll lay a good clutch of eggs. And once they lay the eggs, that is the best part, other than hatching. So then you get some eggs, you at least know that you'll have some type of babies as long as they do hatch. The eggs take about 55 to 60 days to hatch, and that's basically it. It's not quite as simple as that sounds. There's a number of factors and things that could happen, but that's basically it. If you're breeding, the most important thing is to read your animals, know how your animals normally are, how they normally look. This female's already laid. You're just going to want to know how they normally look, how they normally act, so you can read just what's going on with them, basically. Get as much information as possible, talk to as many people as you can. But that's pretty much it, so I hope this helped. If you have any questions, just ask me. And yeah, thanks for watching.